Now that we have a firm understanding of the Stream tab, let's use our top navigation to go over to the Classwork tab. This is where all of the classwork you assign to your students will live. You'll see here at the top I have buttons to quickly open a Google Meet, to open my Google Calendar, or to check the class drive folder. Here you can see a sample assignment that I've created. To add a new assignment to the Classwork tab, simply hit the Create button in the top left corner. From here you have so many options on what you can create. We'll go over each of these options in just a moment. For now, I'd really like to focus on keeping our Classwork tab neat and organized, which is important since students will be completing their assignments here in this tab. To keep everything organized, we're going to create a topic. Topics allow you to keep all of your classwork organized. Depending on how much you use Google Classroom, you can create topics for each week, each month, every 6 weeks, every 9 weeks, whatever suits your needs. For this example, I'll just create one for each of the 6-week periods. So now instead of having loose assignments spread out all over my Classwork tab, I can keep things neat and organized with topics. Let's create a few more topics to help us keep things organized. I'll make one for the second 6 weeks and the third 6 weeks as well. Again, to create a new topic, I simply click the Create button and then find Topic at the bottom of the list. Then I give my topic a name, and again in this example I'm naming them by the 6-week periods. As you can see, Google Classroom automatically populates that new topic at the very top of the list. However, I can quickly rearrange things by clicking and dragging, just like most things in Google Classroom. As you can see here, clicking and dragging to move a topic takes all the work in that topic with it, so you don't have to worry about moving individual pieces. Topics won't show up for students until you've assigned work in that topic. So you can create all of your topics for the year beforehand without having to worry about populating them with assignments right away. I recommend keeping the most recent topic that students will need to access at the top of the page. That way they're not having to scroll to find the information or the assignments that they need. Once you start creating topics, you'll see them appear here on the left-hand navigation. Clicking one of the topics will take you to a page that shows you just the work associated with that topic. So for the second 6 weeks I have not assigned anything yet, but for the first 6 weeks you can see an assignment there. Again, using topics is a great way to keep everything neat and organized, and you can organize your topics in a way that makes the most sense for you and your students. However, there is one topic that we suggest all teachers create, and that's a class materials or class resources topic. You can use your class materials topic to keep resources that students might need all year, such as your syllabus or any reference pages for math or science. Now that everything's neat and organized, let's learn how to start adding content to our Classwork tab. Since we just created the class materials topic, how about we start by creating a material? Again, we'll click Create and then select Material. Materials generally include resources that students will need to be successful in your class or on a project or something that they're working on. When creating a new material, I'll need to give it a name and a description of what the resource is. For this example, I'm going to create a material that contains the 7th grade math star chart. Once I've entered the name and description, on the right-hand side I can determine whether one or more of my classes should be able to see this material. I can also determine if this material is for multiple students or just one student. And I can also assign this material to a topic. Since this is a resource my students will likely use all year, I'll put it in the class materials topic. Lastly, here at the bottom I have an option to attach documents from my computer or Google Drive. In this example, I have this document stored in Google Drive, so I'll click the Drive button, select the resource, and then click Insert. And just for fun, before I'm finished with this, I'm going to add an emoji to the title. To quickly add emojis on a MacBook, press Control, Command, and Spacebar to bring up the emoji menu. Emojis are a fun way to keep things organized and make things stand out for students on their page. Once everything looks good, I can click Save, and now this material will appear under my Class Materials topic. Once I post the material, it will show up on my page as well as students' pages. At any time, they can click on this material to see the reference chart or use it for the assignments that they're working on. Now that we know how to make materials for our page, let's take a look at how to create something different. We're going to talk about how to create a question. Questions are great for quick check-ins or exit tickets, quick formative assessments. Again, we'll click the Create button and go down to Question. Now I can go ahead and type my question and any instructions that students need to know as they're answering their question. Using the drop down next to the question, I can also determine whether this should be a short answer type question or a multiple choice question. And just like materials, I can choose which classes and which students need to see this question. I can change the number of points students will receive for this question, and I can also assign a due date. To keep everything organized, I'll assign this question to a topic. Lastly, here at the bottom of the options, we can determine whether we want students to be able to reply to each other. This can be useful if you want your short answer to function more as a discussion. We can also decide if we want students to be able to edit their answer after they've already submitted. As with everything we create in Google Classroom, we can also attach items from our computer, our Google Drive, we can add links, or even YouTube videos. Lastly, we can determine if we want to post right away or assign this at a later date. And once I post my question, it will appear in the Classwork tab just like everything else. Now, as I'm sure you know, sometimes one question just doesn't cut it. For that, we'll need to create a quiz assignment. Now from this page, I can give my quiz a title and type in any instructions that students need to know. As you can see, when you select this option, Google Classroom automatically creates a blank Google Forms quiz for you. Clicking on the blank quiz will open up Google Forms where I can now edit the quiz. Any changes I make to this quiz will reflect on the assignment back in Google Classroom. Once I'm satisfied with my Google form, I can go back to Google Classroom and enter any of the other pertinent details that we see on most of our assignments, such as the amount of points it's worth or when it's due. I can even upload a grading rubric if needed. And as always, I can post it right away or schedule it for later. So now that we've shown you some very specific ways to create content, such as quizzes and questions, let's talk about a much more general way to create content, using assignments. You'll likely create more assignments than anything else because they're so versatile. You can do so many different things with assignments. As always, I'll click Create and then select Assignment. As always, I'll give my assignment a name and put any details or instructions that students need to know. And by now, I'm sure you know that you can assign this to multiple classes or just a single class, to all your students or just to a few. You can also change how many points the assignment is worth, when the due date is, and which topic it belongs under. When creating assignments, we will definitely want to add something from our computer, our Google Drive, add a link, or add a YouTube video. For this example, I'll upload a Google Doc that I have saved to my Google Drive. I click the Google Drive button and then find the document in my Google Drive. As you can see, once I add the doc, it does give me some suggestions on how to share it with students. Ultimately here I have three options. One option is to create a copy for each student that I'm assigning this to. This is great if you're using Google Docs, slides, or sheets to create templates that students can work on individually. The next option is to allow students to all work on the same document collaboratively. This is perfect if I'm assigning group work, for example. And the final option is just to allow students to view the document. Since I can upload multiple documents or multiple templates on the same assignment, you might be uploading some documents that students just need to view and others that they need to edit. The ability to create templates and documents using Google Docs, slides, sheets, and more is what makes assignments such a versatile tool in Google Classroom. As you can see, I forgot to add this new assignment to a topic, but it's as easy as clicking and dragging it into the topic where it belongs. And now the last thing we'll show you in this video is how to reuse an assignment that you've already created. I'll click my Create button and then go to Reuse Post. Now I'll choose which class I want to copy the assignment from. Then I'll see a list of all the different assignments in that class. Now I just have to choose which one I'd like to copy. If the assignment you're using has documents attached to it and you need to make extra copies for this new assignment, be sure to click this box here at the bottom. Once I select the assignment I'd like to copy, I can make any changes I need to that assignment before publishing. Instead of posting this assignment right away, I'm going to schedule it for a later time. I'll click the drop down next to Assign, select Schedule, and then choose when to release this assignment to students. Whereas the bubble next to the assignments I assigned right away are orange, the one I scheduled for later is grayed out. This just indicates that it is not currently active for students to see. And that is the Classwork tab in a nutshell. There is so much we can do and create here. Just remember to keep things neat and organized for your students.